All right, what is going on, people? It is another episode of Unfiltered. This one officially will go down as episode number 273 in your scorecard. You could jump on board 24/7, 365. It is easy. Apple, Spotify, everywhere you get your podcasts. Artist formerly known as Twitter, X, if you will. At Casey Stern, give a follow. Go up into the bio, and you jump on the YouTube channel. You can watch and subscribe and follow all the content. 272, now 273 episodes in, of course, courtesy of and presented by our good friends at Bet Online. Bet Online, your number one source for your sports betting needs, latest odds, lines, and matchup reports, baseball, basketball, boxing, golf, all the different sports you could ever want and more. It's the fastest and easiest way to get those and your favorite casino and card games all right from your phone. To get to the website right now, remember to use the promo code BELIEVE. It's BLEAV. You'll get a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. It is Bet Online where the game starts. As I get started here, we're going to clearly talk Jordan Montgomery, but let's be fair. Remember the old AL East races, Yankees, Red Sox, and both teams would go for it, and everybody would be sitting there and just waiting who's going to make the next big move in the arms race, if you will. Well, right now the NL West is where it's at. Dylan Cease to the Padres, Blake Snell to the San Francisco Giants, and now Jordan Montgomery to an Arizona Diamondbacks team that has a franchise record payroll heading into 2024, just 2 days away from opening day. What could be and looks like it will be a 2-year deal for Jordan Montgomery. He'll get 25, based on reports, $25 million in the first year. Vesting option, excuse me, for the second year is easy for the first 20 mil of that 25 for year 2. Only has to make 10 starts in 2024. And then incrementally, he'll go up based on 18 starts or 23 starts to eventually get to that full 50 million over 2 years for a Jordan Montgomery who is looking for 6 or 7, for a Jordan Montgomery who is looking way more than for the money that a Sonny Gray got at the very beginning of this market. If you go back to one of the first deals that was made for a starting pitcher, go look at the numbers. Smaller year amount, less of a guarantee, same AAV for a Sonny Gray with the Cardinals, and all of this time later, all the way down the stretch as the last man standing, Jordan Montgomery and his camp, clearly his agent, waited out the market, and it turned out to be a little bit too long. Nobody biting. The Yankees were obviously mentioned. People wanted to see that reunion. They were not willing to go further into the luxury tax and spend more money. The Texas Rangers had a similar scenario. Everybody talked about the ties with the Red Sox. I don't know what happened. They're just trying to make the Netflix scenario seem like more of a nightmare than it's going to be. I don't know what that is, but regardless, the Red Sox not there, and Montgomery is here to the Arizona Diamondbacks team that is not resting on their laurels, and they're doing everything you want to see a team do who is not supposed to be a big market team. And that is when you get the shot, push the pedal down. That's the whole idea. And this is not a trade, but the whole idea the prospects are cool, parades are cooler, and all of that in general is basically if you got a chance to win, you take that chance to win. And the Diamondbacks beat the Dodgers last year, were able to get to the World Series, were right on the doorstep, and they didn't just accept and rest on the laurels and say, hey, we got Corbin Carroll, we got Zach Gallen, and so what? We'll just kind of hang in. Now the ticket sales we can up, and everybody will come into the building, and it'll be easy breezy for us because we don't necessarily have to exceed at a high level to make some money. But instead, the organization went out and they spent some money, and a lot of money, in a franchise record payroll, and kudos to the Diamondbacks ownership for all of that. And I'm so happy for Torey Lovello, who was not long ago, was a weekly guest of mine for years when I was with SiriusXM. And I remember having to come up with jokes at the beginning of the conversations we'd have to try and help him forget about the fact that the team was winning seemingly 2 out of every 20 games or whatever it was. And then just 2 years later, we know what was. They were in the World Series. So now let's talk about what is. This starting rotation that has a Zach Gallen and a Merrill Kelly and an Erod when he's back off the IL. And now how about Jordan Montgomery, a lefty who is going to come in here and seemingly be a perfect fit. He is a winner. And regardless, as long as he stays healthy, knock on wood, what the numbers are going to be during the season, we already know what a beast he can be in the postseason, where this team is now primed to make another run and primed in a division that is bananas right now. Because we talk about the Giants and their picking up of Snell. But how about the way Jordan Hicks has pitched? And think about Logan Webb. And what about if Ray, speaking of coming back from injury, can get in the fold? What about what that staff looks like? How about what San Diego has built and looks like? And oh, by the way, the Los Angeles Dodgers are in this division. Yes, that Dodger team with Yamamoto and with Ohtani and with Betts and Freeman and Ohtani in the lineup and Teoscar Hernandez and, oh, by the way, Glasnow in the rotation. And the list goes on and on. I mean, the Colorado Rockies, I mean, forget about it, as they said in Donnie Brasco. I mean, forget about it. You're a Colorado Rockies fan. I mean, I don't even know. I would just suggest a lot of Tums, and certainly the same for management as they watch that team with their climb in this division. Going to be very, very difficult. But the NL West is going to be a beast. It's going to be fun to watch. And who knows how many playoff teams we're going to get out of this division. But for the Diamondbacks, they pushed the pedal and now look to be certainly well primed to make another run deep into the postseason. The question becomes, is what do we learn from the market as we now close this? Because we saw what kind of deals we got for Chapman and what kind of deals we got for Bellinger and what kind of deal we got for Snell and what kind of deal we got here for Jordan Montgomery. And the waiting is the hardest part, but it's not necessarily also the best idea. Because when that leverage and that hand in that relationship changes and goes over to the teams who don't need you anymore, who don't have some desperate injury that all of a sudden they got to acquiesce to you, and they're sitting there and they're ready for a season and they moved on without you, well, they're not going to then just give it and give oodles of money. And hopefully this is a lesson moving forward for not putting yourself in this kind of spot, a spot that netted Jordan Montgomery at least 4 or 5 years less than he thought he was going to get in this market. So if it vests, it'll be 2 years at about $50 million. A great deal for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Not terrible AAV either for Monty. And now an even beastier beast in the NL West as we sit just 2 days away from the greatest holiday there is, ever was, ever will be. Opening day in Major League Baseball. This is Unfiltered, presented as always by our good friends at BetOnline.